So Pennhurst Asylum was the first time that we actually brought one of you guys along with us for an investigation. We ran a contest on Patreon, a random winner was selected, and Gary ended up joining us on this investigation.
Alright, let's go. What's up, dude? You excited? Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. Gary? For sure, man. Are you pumped or what?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So, are you okay with Philly cheesesteak? Okay, cool, alright.
So yeah, picking up Gary at the airport was a really cool experience. We didn't know what to expect. We obviously don't know the guy, so.
We've never done this before. We've never invited anyone with us, so it was as much of a new, nerve-wracking experience as it probably was for him, for me. What's up, dude?
Not much, man.
How's the flight?
It's pretty good.
That's nice. I can tell that you're excited to be here. You know what's funny is that we were all driving here and we were probably equally as nervous as you were. And we're stoked that you're, no offense to anyone out there, but you're a normal guy.
We did a little pre-interview with Gary to see kind of where he was at mentally heading into this investigation. And I think he had a really good mindset, basically like, I hope we get some activity. I don't want anything too insane, but I'm here for it, you know? And I think that type of mentality is pretty much best case scenario for one of the patrons coming in on an investigation with us.
A few months ago, back in March, I got a message from Casey saying I won the contest to be able to come out and investigate. And at first I didn't believe it. You know, I read the message a couple times and logged into Patreon to check it out and see that it was actually true.
Were you stoked? Were you pumped when you found out it was the one that won?
It makes me feel a little bit more nervous because today it's happening. So
I asked him all those questions, you know, like, hey man, are you excited? Are you nervous? And I could tell that no matter what he said to me, there was this panic going on inside of him.
Just having the opportunity to be able to come out, use the equipment, learn how it all works, that alone is, and visiting an asylum also, I mean, it's just,
gonna be sick.
It's pretty crazy.
It's
so
a creepy place to go.
Just that alone, even if we don't get anything or if I don't experience anything, I mean, I would do it again.
Right on. We just wanted him to be able to encounter the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis and see what it's like actually trying to get proof of paranormal activity. Arriving at the Pennhurst Asylum, the place is old, dilapidated, it's fallen apart. You could tell that it's been abandoned for years and years, but a lot of really bad things happened there when it was up and running, and that's why people believe that there are still spirits of those that passed away within the asylum. We had a guide give us a tour. That happens more often at known locations when you go to a large spot like this and they have staff that'll welcome you at the beginning before you get locked down and you're there the whole night by yourself.
This is the administration building. It was completed in 1918. They then moved the administration from Philadelphia into this building. They used a doctor's office, nurses, file rooms. It was mostly administration.
I didn't know it had such a dark past, and actually Pennsylvania had it classified as a school at one point, which walking around the building, when you start seeing the similarities to a prison, it's really concerning. So it's really kind of an ominous atmosphere anyway.
It was actually a school here. It was the Eastern Pennsylvania State School for the Epileptic and Feeble-Minded. So as you can see, it's easier to just say Pennhurst.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was mostly for children with epilepsy, also with, of course, feeble-minded kind of captured a lot of different, what we now know as different disabilities. And they were also, they were also here as well.
It was understaffed, right? So
Yeah.
they couldn't get the proper attention or care that they needed for that many patients.
There was over 3,500 people here for a max capacity of maybe 1,700 people. The whole point of this school was to originally be able to teach them social skills, and then actually they were only supposed to stay until they were 18.
Oh, really?
And the median age when they closed it was 47.
Oh, my goodness.
So
Wow.
there were people that came in. Most of them, they originally had to start at 12 years old, and then they changed it to 6 little 6-year-olds coming into here and then basically never leaving. They would either unfortunately pass away here, or if it was later, they would have lived here their whole lives.
They were giving us a bunch of information about the building, and Casey had done a little bit of research on his own, and I don't think she was even going to tell us, but there was a doctor that was known as Dr. Fear, and he had ended up engineering some type of injection that it would deliver the most amount of pain with the least amount of bodily damage, and he would use it for punitive action. He would use it to experiment on children or the mentally handicapped.
I don't know if I'm mistaken this place for somewhere else, but was there any kind of like, not like torture, but like, was there like methods that doctors were using on patients that were incorrect and they were like actually like painful to the patients that were here and they were doing
Yes.
stuff like that?
Yeah, so in, what would you say, 70s? 60s, 70s?
68, I want to say.
Yeah,
Dr.
they,
Fear.
yeah, Dr. Fear. So Dr. Fear was actually a doctor. He was in charge of Pennhurst, and one of the things that he instituted was a chemical injection that would cause the most amount of pain to someone with the least amount of damage. And he would use that almost as a deterrent for what people consider poor behavior. So biting,
It's like a punishment.
yeah,
right? So
patient
someone
on
did something
patient,
wrong.
patient on patient abuse. So he would kind of say, okay, you're not stopping this. So here's, I'm going to teach you that if you continue with this action, this is the result.
It's crazy.
And
No,
yeah.
that's insane.
I personally have never done an investigation at Pennhurst before, so it was really cool to see. The buildings are awesome, very beautiful place. We had a super knowledgeable tour guide, so the experience leading into it as the sun was going down, we're getting prepared to enter our real investigation. Very cool.
Yeah, I didn't know how many buildings there would be and what kind of condition everything would be in, so I didn't know what to expect there.
This is one of the things that I tell people that come in and investigate. You have to remember that they were kids. For all intents and purposes, their mind, they were children.
Yeah.
And I have seen other investigators that come in and they ask all these complex questions.
Yeah.
And they
don't know.
They don't know.
We wanted Gary to know exactly what we were going into and what we were trying to communicate with.
I have seen them, I've heard them, I've been touched, that they're here.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, it's a matter of whether or not they're gonna chit chat or not.
So for the start of the investigation, what we always do is we go with EMF detectors or thermals. We try to see where there's some form of activity that might be a good spot for us to test later during the night, because we had about 7 hours at this location. So I went to the first building in the basement and also second, third floor. You can definitely hear echoes crazy down here. Even my footsteps, I could hear the echoes at the end of the hall. I don't know if you guys could hear that.
First thing we did on this investigation was split up. We like to do that sometimes. Colton went with Gary, Casey took the main building, the Mayflower, and I went into a smaller tunnel that was lit up with red lights, and it was spooky. Being by yourself always is. Hello? My name's Tanner. Definitely come in peace. Just want to come here to communicate with whoever remains. If there's anybody here willing to communicate with me, I'm very open to it. I'm not here to hurt you. If you have any message you want to share with the world or with me, I'm already hearing shit behind me. If you have any message you want to share with the world or with me, I'm already hearing shit behind me.
So when we decided to separate, me and Gary, we had already kind of clicked, and I wanted to take it upon myself to be like his guide, kind of. And I'm always filming these guys. I really just wanted to film this new person's reaction to what we do.
All right now. All right, we're rocking. There we go.
Cool.
It actually saves us some time.
Perfect.
So, yeah, man. That always makes me feel better when, starting an investigation as well. And just for the interest of you right now, I'm gonna go ahead and say anything here that would like to use my energy to communicate, feel free to do so. But when I leave this building, I leave you here and I move on.
So if there is any presence here, can you come close to me? Make this light up. What was that? Can you come closer? I could stay here. I don't have to move if you want to come a little bit closer.
I just hear a lot of echoes. Makes it sound like somebody's here. Let me see if I can. There you go. Now that I turn my flashlight off, are you more willing to talk to me? Want to show yourself on this camera?
If there's anyone here with us, could you come close to this device he has in his hand? It'll give us a signal to let us know that your energy is present.
This device on my hand will light up and make a sound that'll let us know you're here.
Okay. I don't know that my eyes are not playing tricks on me at all. But see, this is the type of place.
Did you hear yours?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a little tap or something.
Super faint. It could have been the thunder, but what I just thought I saw was, so if you take the light off that, What I just thought I saw when I did this was that very back hallway. It looked like, again, like something changed from being pitch black back there to like gray.
I was starting to, well, at least I felt like I was either being like washed or it just felt weird.
There's a lot of movement at the back of these hallways, so we kind of fixated that way. And then we started noticing that a lot of the shadows that we were experiencing were augmenting without light facing them.
You know, like something.
Yeah, that's the second time you've noticed something like that.
I am on the 3rd floor, and there is nobody else in this building with me, but I'm hearing noises above me. I did hear some kind of strange taps and knocks coming from the attic. Maybe there's rats in the ceiling. I don't know, I'm not really convinced that that's anybody else here with me. Maybe you don't even live here anymore. But there was a hole, a door, I guess, and there was weird noises. It sounded like there was footsteps or something.
Okay, that sounded like human footsteps for sure.
Does anyone still live in this tunnel? With me being down there by myself and running the few tests that I did, getting absolutely nothing on anything, we decided that that tunnel was really no longer a point of interest on this investigation.
I remember asking, if that's you, can you come closer? Or, you know, can you show yourself? And I actually heard footsteps that sounded like they ran. Does the light bother you? Sounds like you're getting closer. Can you come closer to me? Can you come closer to my voice? Oh. It wasn't a slow step anymore. It was like doom, doom, doom. Sounds like you're getting closer. Can you come closer to me? Can you come closer to my voice? Oh. Hello. I just heard you up there. That was fucking loud. I need to check that. Scared me. I went down to go get Tanner, and then on my way down, I ran into a swarm of bats, so I didn't get to go down right away. Oh, fuck no.
Oh, fuck.
There's like 3 bats around this fucking corner now. I'm so over the fucking bats.
After we met back up at the Mayflower, it was actually really cool to see Gary kind of smiling ear to ear. He was just totally there for it.
Gary said he heard a couple noises in the other building, so I wanted him to see if he could hear the noises that I was hearing on the 3rd floor coming from the attic. So the whole crew went upstairs, listened, and recorded EVPs to see if we could catch some sounds.
I would say you kill that for a second, just because that click from it.
You made some noise earlier when I was in here by myself that sounded like you were walking. Can you walk towards us? Can you come towards my voice? was good. Can you come a little bit closer?
I hear someone like crying though.
Yeah,
You don't hear like someone crying?
I do. It sounds like a moan almost.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Get on me.
Alright, hang on.
Is the infrared on?
Yeah.
Oh, nailed it. Okay.
Sweet.
Here, turn everything on.
Are you hearing that fucking noise though?
I am.
Am I right?
That's like a moaning, like crying sound.
We did still hear some of the knocks and taps. Very weird. And we also ran into a bat. Oh, bat. We always run into a bat when we're in a location where there is activity. So I started looking at that as a good sign rather than a bad sign. But it still scares the shit out of you every time you're walking down a hallway and one of them tries to dive bomb your face.
I won't get low. Oh, there he is! Shit! Bats!
Tanner, where you at? Shelf. Look, Colton just ran.
I ain't getting bit again. I already got enough shit biting me.
Alright, I think he dipped in. Yeah, he went out that door.
A lot of people left a lot of trigger objects in here.
That's one fat though.
We wanted Gary to really be able to experience and feel what it's like being in a haunted location, and there was a really long tunnel. It was actually 1,200 feet. That's the length of 4 football fields, and it's all underground, complete darkness, barely any lights, a couple red lights, but it doesn't light up anything down there, and we wanted him to go experience it on his own. We can come back in 10 minutes and meet you there to make sure, you're good. So we went down with an infrared light and a camera, and the plan was that we were gonna meet him at the end of the tunnel and see what kind of weird things that he came across while he was down there. Alright, so here, keep that finger right there on the top button. Keep it on. And if it turns the screen off, you just tap it, like it might fall asleep at times.
This one?
To be honest, we were a little nervous for Gary going to the tunnel.
I'll tell you right now, it took me a whole lot longer to agree to do what
He
you're
did
about
the
to
same
do.
thing.
This was his
In the
initiation.
sun basement, a lot longer to
This was
agree
his
than it did
initiation.
you.
That was his flashlight.
Oh shit. Fighter, what the fuck? At least when I was in this situation, the guys walked me to like the top of the steps where I had to descend into darkness. And for us, we just put him in a golf cart with a stranger. She dropped him off at the end of the tunnel, said, hey, go down there. There's only one way in, one way out. And then she bailed and left him.
Security actually took him on the cart to the whole other side of the property, about 1,200 feet away, and dropped him off. So he had no one there waiting for him, no one there to get his back, and he really was truly alone.
All right, gotta make it towards the end of the tunnel. Lights out.
realized? I realized it a little bit too late, like after he left.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a radio.
Oh, shit. Sorry, Gary.
He can't even radio us if something goes wrong, so he's kind of on his own right now.
That is 4 football fields. Of them. In the dark, underground.
Bro,
known
he is
haunted.
completely secluded. When people watch it on camera, they're like, oh yeah, you know, he's in a little hallway. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try that hallway. Well, dude, the
Yeah,
patrons.
go ahead. DM him. Find out.
You know, I would look behind me, nothing, and, you know, in front of me, still nothing. So it just, in the back of my head, it was just like, all right, it's something right there, or is it just me?
What was the 7-foot tall shadow man that goes down there she was talking about? What was his name? Skip.
Skip. We waited 20 minutes and we decided to head over to where he was at. So we all hopped on a golf cart. We went to go find him.
Okay. Oh, that's cold in there.
Ice cold in there.
What is it? It's like another hallway.
There's a series of corridors that kind of just like go left and right, so you can't really see fully down even if you shine a flashlight. Not to mention it's pitch black down there.
Hey, bro, I don't see one fucking exit light in here.
Not a single one.
That's wet. This is what he's walking on right now. With light. With no light.
It is literally just black and there's a flashlight.
Oh, there's a little red light. That's nothing, though.
It takes us about 10 minutes to get to the very back of the tunnel itself.
Is this the end? It can't be.
When we do, my heart starts racing because I notice that I don't see another person down here.
That wasn't 1,200 feet, right?
That's Horrifying this. I hope so.
And I'm seeing a steel door, and all of us looked at each other like, let's try to open it because maybe he just went in there.
The door's not open for sure. No, it's locked.
there's no way a human by themselves without tools could possibly get through the door because it's been tried before. And that's the point when we turned around and start walking out of the tunnel.
Like, for sure. Did we miss a fucking turn or you know what I mean?
When we got to the back of the tunnel and we realized it was a dead end, there was a steel door. It looked like someone tried to pry it open in the past, but nobody was coming in or getting through that door. Obviously, Gary wasn't behind that door.
Where the fuck is Gary?
Where the fuck is Gary?
Where the hell did our Patreon just go?
I know. That door's barred. Where the fuck is Gary?
Dude, literally.
We combed through that whole tunnel. We walked it again just to make sure maybe he didn't turn somewhere that we missed or open another door. There was nowhere that he could have gone.
Like, there's only one way in and one, like, dead end.
We didn't know where he was. We didn't have a walkie connected to him or anything.
We had to have missed a turn or something.
This is just the totally wrong way.
I'm panicking, honestly. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice on the video, but I'm sure that you can.
Huh?
Should have been by the fucking entrance.
Maybe you walk back.
Is there no other way to go?
No.
So walking out of the tunnel, I approach the security guard and I'm still filming. And I walk straight to her and I said, Gary's not down there.
Hey, Gary's not down there.
And she smiles at me and says, what? Like I'm messing with her. And I said, I'm not fucking with you. Gary's not down there.
I'm not fucking with you. I'm not playing around with you. Gary's not down there.
This the only one?
Really?
Yeah.
She says there's cameras all over the campus on the outside just in case someone does get lost. And we asked her to radio security. Security left their radio at the damn desk and no one's even watching the screen.
Jen and Nate? Oh, nobody's answering? Jen to Nate?
I'm pretty sure Nate left his radio in the security office. What's up?
So she had to have someone else after a moment look at the screen and figure out what happened to Gary. And so at that point, all of us are in the dark.
We lost our first Patreon. That's not what we expected to happen on an episode. You know, we were hoping that he would encounter something and not just get swallowed into the depth of an underground haunted tunnel, and he's gone.
The tunnel just made me like straight up anxious. You know, I kept getting like a sick feeling in my stomach. Like it was weird.
As soon as I come out here, I feel alright. But that hallway doesn't feel right. Or that tunnel doesn't feel right.
You know, the tunnel, it's not very wide or anything. I mean, it's a long tunnel, but it almost felt like claustrophobic.
Let's at least try with the flashlight. And EMF. Nope.
Did we see where one of the investigators went?
Looking at one walking back towards Devon. Is that the one you're looking for?
Oh shit, dude! I was hella scared, man. Hella scared.
All right, let's go find it.
You thought I was playing?
At first I was like, are you kidding me?
As fuck. We got the fuck out of there.
I guess in his defense, he had real no way to communicate with us.
I know. Didn't think about
We
that.
should have gave him a radio.
He's like,
It was just shocking to see the end and not him.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like literally, I was like, "Where the fuck's Gary?"
What's up, bro? Hey, you know that we would never leave you there intentionally, right?
Dude, you scared the shit out of us.
What happened? The piss out of
We got
us.
all the way down the tunnel to the back, and we're like,
he's not here.
Where's
They
Gary?
came out and they're like, he's not in there. I'm like, are you kidding? He's like, no, he's really not
what
in
happened,
there.
man?
Dude, so I got in there and I started walking in like kind of just slowly, and I don't know, I just got like super anxious, and so I just like I kept stopping and looking back and started using the flashlight a little bit because I didn't know if I was seeing anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like
Too
the
much being there
further-
alone. Like
man.
the further you got.
the further I got in, like the more anxious I got. Finally, I was like, forget this.
Dude,
I'd,
you did
like,
great. No, you did great.
So I started making my way. So
Dude,
I made
it's
my way
exactly-
back out there. I got to the Mayflower building because I didn't know where. So I was like, all right, somebody's usually there. I didn't see anybody. I was like, okay. So I came back this way because I
But now that
remembered
you've
you
had
guys were
your-
gonna meet me
your-
out
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So I was like,
Even your solo walk back, like how does that feel when you're like going through like anxiety like that, and then
So it felt better, like on my way out.
Outside,
You know.
yeah, not being trapped in there.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's being just pitch black in there.
All right, well, let's head on back.
we're gonna go back in.
Hang on, everybody kill the lights. You still getting reading there?
Yeah.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna use flash. I'm gonna do a few of these. That's how she said she caught the shadow figure.
We just want to talk, see it.
Skip, where are you? It's okay to show yourself.
Can you show us your hair?
You're not epileptic right now? No. Alright, don't want to be flashing your face.
okay. Check that picture. Check the picture that you just took down there.
Skip, are you here?
What the fuck is that?
That's the blanket hanging.
No, not the blanket.
Dark spot.
We were in there, we had a lot of visual things going on. Like him and I were seeing, again, these like phantom shadows that were moving in a way that had nothing to do with the light, the direction of the light we had.
Dark spot.
Let's check them all real quick. Whoops.
Skip, are you in front of us?
about that? No, that's graffiti. Still getting a reading.
Light it up right now. You heard that, right? The second you set it down. This for whoever's down here with us, anything you have to say, come through this right now. Anything you have to say, come through this right now.
Let me turn that off because it's interfering with the words. I'll leave the light on it, but I want the sound. I just want to see like the rhythm and everything was set. Can you say something?
The thing that's so frustrating about this and that he got to have firsthand is that all of these hints of communication, all of this evidence that's subtle that's coming up and it seems like it's building and there's a momentum to it, just kind of stopped.
Last chance, Skip. We're leaving. We're leaving. We're leaving. We're leaving.
I know for a fact that the Pennhurst Asylum is haunted. I've been there before in the past and I've seen some really weird things happen at that location.
I put a lot of trust in Casey. I believe things he says and he does, and he's told me that he's had pretty extreme experiences there before, so without a doubt, in my opinion, it is a haunted location.
Whenever you're looking for spiritual activity, it's always a hit or miss. That's how it is every time that we go to a location or do an investigation. And honestly, I don't really think that this time was a miss. I got some footsteps running up in the attic.
Can you come closer to my voice? Oh.
Gary heard some noises in the other building that constantly sounded like they were coming from around the corners.
Did you hear something? Yeah.
Okay. It's like a little tap or something.
There was countless times where Gary and I were looking at each other saying like, oh, you know, I'm not breathing heavy, but my heart's palpitating. You know, I feel like out of nowhere, I just started having these crazy thoughts.
I do feel like there's definitely something there, just from what I felt and some of the sounds that we heard.
These are all the types of things that we look for when we're on an investigation. So the fact that he was able to come with us, get to feel what it's like in those situations.
I think overall, having a patron with us on investigation was one of the coolest, if not the coolest experience I've had so far on MindSeed. It was just a lot of fun to have him around and just see him smiling ear to ear, get a fresh set of eyes and ears on everything. We do this all the time, day in and day out, and just having somebody like that that's essentially a rookie was awesome.
It was absolutely a pleasure to have you. You were awesome. Everything that you did took all of us months to get comfortable with, so congratulations, bud. You did a great job.
I'm happy you got to experience it, and I hope you had a good time with us.
I'm super glad that you didn't approach it like a hard ass and just be like, oh, there's nothing here, because like legit, dude, I got
Sorry
it.
about that.
It's okay. I got my feet using the bumper. So yeah, I know, like someone that came in and like wasn't literally listening to their own anxiety or something like that. Like, it's uncommon for me to be as fucking horrified as I was right there for a second, you know?
This is where you edit this out.
Yeah, I'm not recording.
Austin Powers.
I'm recording this for sure.
Thanks a lot.
We'll edit this out.
Yeah.
Maybe we can add it in the bloopers.
There you go.
There you go. Be like, look, she can't drive.
Oh, it's just crazy.
Oh, now
It's definitely going in the
It's a
bloopers.
good bumper. We're all right. We're almost there.
Oh, no, one more.
did it.
One more. This is it. This is it.
Guys, the
Alright, you
security
got it,
officer
you got it,
probably
that's
like,
One thing you don't know, Gary, is that we meet the best drivers on the road.
yeah, right.
I bet.
I don't know where she is.
You don't keep it moving, you're gonna die. You gonna die. Running, pretty, got to stay alive. Stay alive. The weak are praying, only strong survive. Strong survive. Tell me how you feel about your life. You some business sense. Ain't moving, then you stay losing. If you don't adapt, you get a body bag. I'll be the first to give it out if you gotta ask. This a competitive market, leave you beheaded. The target is where you headed. I spark it and leave him dead in the darkness. I got a head and it's hard to even try to compete. I gotta eat in a week. I get plenty but starving. Keeping my pet in the carpet. See me just pedaling farther. Everybody that ever said they were harder, I just led them to the end like a model to the end of the internet. I could get into that like internet innocent, cause they too dumb and they ignorant. I'm like, yeah, knowledge is power, and I look like I got the upper hand. Oh yeah. Plus I gotta keep it moving, y'all.